Hello everyone. Drawing this out is stressful for me, but it also serves as a good way for me to try and process and reflect on it. Let's see. This on top of everything else over the last few days definitely worn me down a bit. So I just want to get it done and over with. Most everything. That works. Between being the mediator between two friends who are both self-sacrificing in different ways, so there's been that emotional hell, especially since, yeah, no, I'm worn out and tired right now. Most likely depressed, given how my mood is jumping around, but that's been there for a while and I've just adapted to it. The expression, yes. The body language, no. Body language is dynamic. That the body language here is dynamic, but it doesn't. I don't feel like it expresses the attitude or character of the real person well. Because again, I got attached to the fiction and then tried to struggle away from being attached to the fiction in order to appreciate them as a real person. Only to end up deciding to just cut myself out of their life. I figured it would be less stressful for them. And it looked like things were becoming very self-destructive. That's, I think, where a lot of my regret over here on the left sits. I've gotten used to being able to just drag things around by grabbing areas outside of what I'm manipulating in frickin' DaVinci, but Resolve. But as it stands in here, that's a rotate function. Ah, yes. Because that's a good internal summary. We've gone from the surface of their expression and or what I perceived of it to just the reality of what I think their discomfort was. Because regardless of if I was trying my best or not, I was making the other real person uncomfortable. I didn't like that. I didn't like it at all. The only reason why my stupid brain kept trying was because I thought maybe they'd understand. Maybe they'd see past all the noise. That was my naive hope. That naive hope doesn't live anymore. For the better. Definitely a bit of fear, some apprehension, some worry, and discomfort. That's a fighting pose. In a sense, drawing this out is a kind of self-harm. And everything in my brain is telling me I should stop drawing this. I should stop trying to understand when it only hurts me. I should stop trying to express my perspective when it's not even wanted. But another part of me is choosing. Mm. Part of me wants to draw a standing pose of discomfort. But the discomfort Discomfort was only the mid-level feeling there. They were uncomfortable, they were tired, they were scared. My intentions matter jack shit if the impact I left hurt them. At the same time, this is not something to be held above my head as a guillotine, nor something to stand on top of and have a shallow pride over. Both of those are simply coping mechanisms to a feeling of powerlessness and insecurity, and I don't want to live like that. What day is it? The 28th of August. Joy, I expected to have more done in my personal life, but I guess I just keep. That is a highly action heavy pose. Scared, startled, spooked. That's a default one. You can see the ways that the fiction of things has been sprinkled over the top. I can't say that's really much fiction right there. Just internal confusion. I'm still scared. Hmm? Hmm. Hmm. Ah. Yeah, no, that line of thought up there is the fiction right here that's used as a reference point. Here, let me switch over to this so that way you can see my cursor better. The fiction all the way up here that's used as a reference point is basically just nihilism in the horribly destructive sense. Everything means nothing. So what's the point of doing anything? It's not going to work out, so what's the point of trying? Choice to pretend like things are okay, to just try and chill around and be a friend. Then somewhere along the way, just me doing what I think is right. Even if I don't get believed, I just. It's not just that I'm struggling to wrap my head around what happened. It's not just that I'm struggling to wrap my head around what happened. I'm struggling to wrap my head around these unresolved, complicated feelings. Because these feelings keep keep leaving me, keep on feeling like I just need to fall asleep and not wake up. Not in a suicidal sense, but just in a, yes, that's the type of tired I need. Just a few millennia of sleep. Which I know isn't possible. Ah. Hmm. No, there is very much a part of me that's scared that should I ever achieve success or look like I've moved on, they'll enter my life again. All that I could find was lost. Uh-oh, the pills I gotta go. The doctor, they don't need to know. Hey, it's okay. Same shit, but it's a different day. Hey, I'm okay. Listen, I can't be everything, it's me or the medicine. No. Regardless of if I like admitting it or not, I feel small around them, even though they're just as much of a person as I am, no bigger or lesser. I'm scared of getting hurt. That's what motivated most of my defensive actions, was that fear of getting hurt. All of my efforts were in an attempt to not get hurt. And instead, it hurt the worst. I'm okay. We are the medicine. Ah. Yeah, a lot of me hesitating and shutting down, and the space between is just me being scared of thinking I have things sorted out and and I've got a clean path ahead, only for me to mess something up and get hurt again. I can accept that I failed to be a decent friend to that person. Talking, even if I was being honest, that doesn't necessarily mean that my honesty was much helpful, or that the stress I put them through is suddenly gone. I want to prevent another failure, but I also, like, um, I feel fucking helpless. Sure, part of me may call up a good functional front to the point where it looks like I'm fine. But that's just a null prioritizing other things. My nerves are on end. Don't want to shut down. Don't want to pass out. Don't. The mental reset isn't going to change things. Let's take a moment. to pause. Stop trying to rush forward and get things done. And just sit here, please. I know this is uncomfortable. I know you don't want to be stuck here. Well, at least I'm not telling myself that lie around responsibility. Because the reality is I'm not responsible for the other person or their decisions, even if part of me wants to be. Not sure why part of me wants to be. Really, really not sure why. But the responsible thing to do isn't to sit here and beat myself up over and over with the same fucking concept. That's not responsible, but self-pitying. No, maybe with that one commenter, whoever they were, maybe it would have helped if I had responded with my first answer instead of the well thought out and varied one that tried its best to be considerate and reasonable. Maybe I should have just said, I don't know. It's good that I can slowly find that cold flame in my stomach, in my gut. It still burns even in the midst of wanting to shut down, even in the midst of everything. What are the two parts of me fighting in my head right now? One of them is my passion, my desire to move forward. Oh. Okay, so every time we get near that emotional place, we unintentionally forget to keep breathing. Okay. Okay. Same shit, but it's a different day. Okay, the fact that I had to bite our tongue to snap us out of that. No, emotionally, we are very much struggling with this. I am not going to give up on being there for the part of myself that is still left sitting with all this pain. Fuck off. Stop trying to make us shut down and fall asleep so as to avoid or ignore it. Cinderella, don't you go to sleep. It's such a better form of refuge. Why don't you know the kingdom's under siege? And everybody needs you. Gotta let go. Hate that almost slows. Feeling pretty close to the edge, I know. Gotta let go before I grow insane. This isn't worth the drama, this isn't worth the pain. I'm not going down like this. If I close my eyes, I can keep the pain away. But I need to stay awake to find the remedy. Okay, so trying to endure like that is not working. Of course it's not working. No, that doesn't look like it either. Ah. That doesn't feel distant enough, but that's because I feel like I'm not using perspective. Okay, so if the horizon line is there, hmm, let go. Oh, I feel this hollow in my chest, just it down to the bone. I am becoming such a wreck. Say future and the things I do seem loose. I gotta let go. I hate that almost floats. Feeling pretty close to the edge, I know. Gotta let go before I go insane. This isn't worth the drama, this isn't worth the pain. The smoke and mirrors fade, and with all this pressure, the ceiling's caving in. I test the limits of how much that I can take. The voices in my head are screaming, you're not okay. If I can bless it, I can make it go away. But I need to stay awake to find the remedy. I gotta let go. The hate that almost loads. Pretty close to the edge, I know. Gotta let go before I go insane. This isn't worth the drama, this isn't worth the pain. Doesn't need to be symmetrical. And it's better that it's not. Oh, you can never stop my dreaming. Even if my hopes are fleeting, I can bend and break, but I won't. I'm not going down. I'm not going down like this. This isn't worth the drama. This isn't worth the pain. No, that's too much scale. Too large of a scale. Also, wrong layer. So there's a null near pose. Why would Aurora be there? Fine, I guess she's riding above on her broom. Lovely. Feeling pretty close to the edge, I know. Before I go insane, this isn't worth the drama, this isn't worth the pain. Yes, but no. Yeah, no, the fact that. Okay, that adds mental context. I can make it go away. I need to change the remedy. Gotta let go. The hate that almost floats, pretty close to the edge, I know. Gotta let go. So Anil, Aurora, and Anitra are all trying to figure this out, while leaving the others to function. Fuck! I don't care if this is fiction representing the mind. It's still representing the mind. Before I go insane, this isn't worth the drama, this isn't worth the pain. Yep, nope. That not good. That really not good. I guess if I'm able to visualize it, that makes it easier to process. Mm, okay, managed to cut that out decently. So that way I can then add it on top of itself, kind of. Yes. Then new tab. It's just a limit of how much that I can take. The voices in my head are screaming, you're not okay. Oh, joy. Well, that's very lovely, but not quite. Now, if I use this, yeah, no, that's not good. How the fuck are we supposed to deal with that? I have no fucking clue. I swear, if this was Scribble animated, it. Luminosity goes down. Yeah, no, that is definitely distorting our headspace. Lovely. I hate that on the slopes. No, that just creates a leaning feeling. Uh, huh. I wouldn't have thought Anitra would be shorter than me. Though knowing us, that actually makes more sense. Hmm. Mm. Then again, I don't think we have consistent heights in Headspace. How the fuck do you resolve this? Well, first step that you've already done a good job on. Oh, geez. I so it keeps getting aggravated anytime there's even a little spark of what if. Pretty much. Oh, that is. Well, at least we're no longer trying to walk into it to shut it down. Yeah, but it would be preferable if we could. You know how to shut it down, you know how to acknowledge it and resolve it. Not a clue. Not a damn clue. Uh, Lovely. Absolutely fucking lovely. Fuck. Uh, What? I make that noise too, just because. Yeah, Shut up. No, I don't think I will. Eh. Mm. Yeah, no, that is unresolved. This isn't worth the drama. This isn't worth the pain. Ugh. You've only gotten this far into fucking acknowledging it, and it. Yeah, no, I don't think we're ready to handle that. The fact we made it this far without, completely crashing out and being a completely hazardous existence. That's just a personal win at this point. I'm not going to fucking worry about it. Before I go insane, this isn't worth the drama, this isn't worth the pain. Leave it be, let it die with the past if we can. Let's get the reference points in here so that way we can, it's at least somewhat reasonable for people to decipher. Fucking id personified, far as we know. Inheritor root is superego, Troon. Inheritor spite, I don't really know anyways. Our organization is all over the place. Edge, I know I gotta let go before I go insane. I like how in us finally rendering this with a drawing, Aurora isn't just like bouncing around happy. She's like, "Oh shit, so this is what we're dealing with." And it's like, "Yes, I've been trying to tell you that for the past months, few years." Reality's truth seeker. Yeah. Don't know what to do with it. Don't know how to get rid of it. Don't know how to do anything in regards to it. So I kind of have to just let it sit. Even though I really, really don't want to. Uh, Technically, we could make Aurora smaller in order to portray the distance out that thing is at, but fucking, I don't want to fucking edit this any further. It's a decent enough expression of the emotional turmoil. Ugh. Oh. Why the fuck was I trying to walk straight into the middle of that? Ah, yes, to get rid of it. You mean sit with the feelings? To me, those are the same thing. They aren't the same thing, and I really wish you would learn that lesson at this point. Whatever. Uh,